Hi guys, and welcome to the Briggs Farmers League. Here we are with the final two rounds of the preliminaries, SOCA versus GAB, and then right after it, Jugger versus RSNC. Two very interesting matches coming up. I'm Adam Fox, the unoriginal name gamer, here again with Spads from GAB. Howdy Spads, how you going?
Hello, hello.
Yeah, definitely two interesting matches tonight. Obviously, the SOCA versus GAB match. That's the big mano a mano for us. Me being SOCA, Spatch being GAB. So there's obviously a lot of heat and heightened emotions in the TeamSpeak channel. Of course, I think we both know who's going to come out victorious. Obviously, SOCA.
Clearly,
Yeah.
Gab, they're pretty useless, as we've seen throughout the season.
Oh, Soka's got
Yeah, no,
some secret weapons. I'm sure they're going to throw out tonight. All the things that you see on live, them hacking around the place and really throwing out their best foot forwards to smash Gab and really show Gab that they can't come out of the preliminaries with a full 100% winning streak.
yeah, it would be good. If nothing else, we want to see a little bit of stupid play out of Soka, just throwing out everything on the table. They've got nothing to lose and everything to gain if they beat Gab. Definitely a lot of bragging with that. Be the only team to beat Gab in the regular season, so I'm looking forward to them whipping out some strange strategies in that one.
Oh, it would be hilarious if they did actually come out of this and actually beat them. Like that would be such an upset for the Gab to really knock them off the sort of confidence pedestal that they've got themselves on now.
Yeah, for sure. Going into the finals, not what they'd want, so they're going to be looking to counter it. I think they're going to come out as strong as they can and still take it seriously because they would hold that undefeated record in pretty high regard, something that they've been aiming for now, ever since they've got the first couple of weeks out of the road. And yeah, a game they should win, but a game that they could lose.
Now, of course, they're really only holding on to that 100% winning streak because of the that match between Gab and Jugger, and that was another one of those matches that everyone was looking forward to and everyone was very excited about. And there was a little bit of controversy with it as well. There was a few mentions of people being invisible on the stream, and then people reckoning that that was the case as well for the guys fighting and stuff like that. So. There's definitely going to be when the Gab and Jugger guys get into that final. There's definitely going to be some heightened emotions in that very very strong fight there.
Yeah, there will be. There will be definitely. And they've still got to get there first, and a lot of it's going to come down to how this week unfolds, whether Jugger sees Gab in the semi-final or whether each of those two teams have got to win their semi to have a final or grand final between Gab and Jugger. And of course, the second match that we have tonight, nothing's really decided. Nothing's in stone except for the fact that the four teams going to the playoffs will stay the same. It's going to be Jugger, Gab, Dyer, and RSNC, but the order that they finished this week and this regular season is still well and truly up in the air. Gab will, unless they get absolutely upset and pummeled to actually no. Even if they lose tonight, Gab will secure
They will
first seed.
still be in the first seed. Yeah.
So they're locked in, but the other three seeds are completely up for grabs with varying degrees of unlikeliness for each situation to happen. But I guess the main thing to throw it up in the air is that RSNC needs to win, and RSNC needs to win well against Jugger. And if they can keep Jugger under their heel, they could potentially push Jugger down into the fourth seed. That would be a tough ask, but realistic possibility that that RSNC is going to be able to claw themselves out of that fourth seed if they get a win tonight. So that's the match to watch to see what's going to be happening in the next couple of weeks, and it's really going to have an impact on who plays who.
Yes, definitely. Now, while we do have we've still got a good 5 minutes there from the warning bell. I am going to skip down the stream and just have a quick look at what will be on the end of the stream here. So it's the final sort of times, just to give you guys a little bit of a heads up on it. So we've got our semi-finals now. Note the time changes. It's next Saturday, the 28th, the last day of February. There it will be our second and third spot. sparring and out, which we will know by the end of tonight. And then our first and fourth spot will be the next day, straight after that, both at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So they are definitely very different times. So middle of the day on Saturday and Sunday that weekend, and then the following weekend on the Saturday at the same time of 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Sydney time, will be the very final finals, basically the 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 end, basically. To give you guys an idea of what's coming up there, and we'll cover that again at the end of the stream, just so you guys are all aware of those changed times. Rightio. So we should probably have a quick look at our teams for. Oh, hold on, I haven't actually started the code yet, so those are not the right names.
Well, I guess I can run it off mine, what we've got here. So for GAB, we've got Chris Callow picks Best Assassin, Kilos, Eaten Alive, and Solace. So in those roles, we'll obviously see Callow picks in the light assault role, Best Assassin, Kilos, Eaten Alive, and Chris is the heavies, and Solace running around as the infiltrator. Over on SOCA's side, we've got George, Dogman 101, True Sight, Deseric, Dismos, Nidrow. I would imagine that Nidr will be the infiltrator there. Not too sure who, if anyone, they'll field in the light assault role, but someone they definitely should. And then we've got Dismos, Deseric, True Sight, Dogman, and George will fill out the other roles. But in honesty, I'm hoping that at least one of those guys is permanently going to max for interest's sake.
Yeah. So Dogman there being the sub in for SOCA there, obviously taking the spot of Trollin, who must not have been able to make it tonight. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Dogman goes with that. He might fill that max role, or possibly the light assault role as well. Will be interesting to see what happens there. And has Eaten Alive been in a game with GAB? I don't know if he has or not.
No, Eaten Alive was one of the mid-season subs, so his first game tonight. So both, yeah, as we said, Dogman and Eaten Alive making their debut tonight for each team. And Eaten Alive, probably someone that that would have, I guess, been playing from the start and a pretty regular face around the GAB scene, and a few others as well. He's pretty active across all three factions, to be honest.
And this is a sort of game that, like, neither team have anything to lose at this point. This is the sort of game that we want to see some different tactics out of. Hopefully, both teams. Obviously, there's not really anything. Even if GAB does come out of this with a loss, like they obviously won't want to, but it's not going to affect them in any way for the standing or anything like that. And so, hopefully, they're probably thinking a little bit more out of the box as well. SOCA are obviously going to be trying to do something a little bit different, yeah, just something to try and to stave off the onslaught that is GAB that is coming.
For sure, and GAB haven't had to, well, they haven't really been in the position where they've had to cheese something up or pull a max or do something silly to get onto a point. Really, at too many points in this season, I think maybe one time they pulled a max suit in answer to someone else's. So if they want to start screwing around with strats for a possible finals place, now would be the time to do it. Like I said, there's nothing to lose, really, even if they do come away with a loss here. But they can learn a lot of stuff from what works or what doesn't work or what can be tweaked. Pulling maxes, pushing maxes, supporting them. It's not something that they do on live either, so they're not really experienced with that. If they have to pull a max, it's going to be pretty special ed for those guys because they just don't do it. They're not used to it.
So there's the half 30-second mark there. Now looks like SOCA is starting with the Western Sundra here, so will definitely be in their advantage if they are able to capture the point and take the A point. It will be in their advantage to capture it this round. Obviously, we've spoken about it before, giving them that extra flank from the eastern and the western side from the spawn room. And here we go.
We have got a max opening from SOCA. I like it. George is in the max suit.
George in the max suit there. GAB guys there, not doing anything unusual. Going for the nice sort of rocket barrage there right at the beginning. Not getting any picks off on any of the SOCA guys, who have all sort of just pushed furiously into that two-story building there of theirs.
I think we had Solace picked off Deseric for first blood there. As True Sight answers back, takes down the light assault that's Keelos, so little bit quiet opening. Only one kill for each, so Max draws his first blood, George puts down Chris. Pretty noticeable with his pink garnet camo and palm camo on his body. It looks...
The point is contested, but it seems to have neutralised, so no one seems to have gotten it so far.
No one really pushing for it.
No.
We've got Calipix here floating over the point, going to run into a heavy assault there. He has been heard though. He needs to be careful. Oh, goes down there.
True Sight there with a nice kill to Calipix. And on half health as well, if my my meter here is correct. So that was definitely a good kill there.
Max still lives for SOCA. He's only got one kill so far, but importantly hasn't died. He should go down, and he does there. Chris getting vengeance.
GAB have clicked over the A point now. SOCA really not trying to push for that A point at all. Really just holding back in their own building. Whether or not this is the strategy that they're going for or not is kind of unclear.
Yeah, they've managed to keep up this motion spotter for quite some time now, so that's helping them. It's giving them enough intel to see where the people are. They're just sort of going back and forth, one for ones here and there.
Ooh, George going down there to Calipix.
Yeah, Calipix switching it up and running a VX6 this round. Normally runs a Pulsar.
Really don't know how you can tell the difference.
It's all in the sound. Be at one with Vanu. Be at one with the gun sound.
I guess I can do that with the air sounds, just not with the infantry ones that much.
Ooh, George nearly gets picked up with a rocket there, just survives. They're sort of hanging back a bit here, SOCA. I don't know if they're going to go for a concerted push or if they just don't want to be too close to the GAB guys. We've got one light assault going in, gets picked off.
Dogman here, really out of the way, walking around the water containers here and getting taken out by Chris there.
Stolas has gone to SMG Infiltrator, so he's put away the sniper rifle and he's running the Eridani at the moment. So pocket Orion for the Infiltrator at the moment on GAB. Now they're starting to get a bit of a lead in the kills. They were sort of close at the start there, but GAB, just from their control of, I guess what you would call the SOCA triple stack building, they've been able to push the kills out pretty commandingly at this point. I think we got Eaten Alive picks up his first kill that we've seen. SOCA still sort of just bleeding in one by one and getting picked off.
Yeah, you'd sort of want to see them grouping up a little bit more and trying to use that the sort of team play advantage a little bit. But it doesn't seem to be the case. They are still sort of flanking around and doing things all over the place basically at this point.
George does get Chris there. Looks like Neej manages to pick off one kill. Goes down himself, and then True Sight cleans up Keelos. But the point is a minute away from capping, so that's going to blow the points out a bit further than what they already are.
Yeah, really not what you want to see in this first round. They need to make a concerted push to that A point and try and capture it. Get a few of the GAB guys down on the way there. But it just doesn't look like it's happening.
No, I don't think they will. I think they'll just be, at this stage, content to lose a point early and then try and go sort of kill for kill. Maybe, if they can manage that. But getting in on the point at this stage, or trying to get in on the point, would probably be a bit suicidal. They don't have enough time and definitely not enough presence in their own building to try and push in. They may flip it, but I think it'll be a quick wipe and clean up the GAB, pick up more points than they lose.
Nice kill there from Best Assassin on George.
There
And
it goes.
we have the
One cap
point
over.
flip.
We've got some pretty decent scores coming out of GAB. Chris is scoring a top obviously with 23 points, but he's also died a few times, so net score probably not too high. Eaton's only got that one kill. Best Assassin trying his best to catch up to Chris. I don't think he's quite died as much as Chris has, and Calipix, Keelos and Solus sort of just being backliners at the moment and hanging back. You obviously can't push up too far because you've got exclusion zones, but I think Chris has been skirting the exclusion zone as well as, looks like we've got Eaton here skirting the outside exclusion zone as well.
Chris and
They're pushed up
Desiree
as far as
there,
they can go.
letting out and trading there, right on the edge of the GAB exclusion zone there.
Decided that's enough. VX6 for him, he's going back to the Pulsar now. Old habits die hard. Dismos picks off Keelos with a bit of a long range kill there. Get wrecked, Keelos.
When there, throwing his hack grenade, getting any kills off of it.
Eaten alive and George with a bit of a trade there. A bit of a lull. SOCA doesn't really want to push up, can't really push up because GAB's just hemmed them in so hard. I don't think this is by choice on SOCA. They've got a couple of men pushing in now to their own building, 2 heavies, 1 infiltrator is around by the silos, another heavy coming up to their own building. So they're starting to make a bit of a push, but I don't know how much it's going to net them. Their infiltrator Nidra does go down to Calipix. And it looks like they lose both heavies that tried to push in there as well. So they're absolutely crushed there.
They're coming in too sporadically. They got killed a little bit sort of here and there, and now they're sort of all just spawning and just charging back in again, and it's really not working for them. They need to group up and push a little bit more as a team and try to get a little bit more of those 1 on 5 or 6 like kills. Even like 2 on 5 should net them a little bit more.
And it's not a problem to be spotted when you're going in, and this will probably come in, you'll see it towards the final, probably even in the next game that we have between RSNC and Jugger. It's fine to be spotted, but what you can't do is be spotted and then wait for long enough that your enemy can put themselves in a position to counter you, because they're never always going to be in the right spot. They're always going to have to shift, rotate, move around a little bit, and that's when you want to catch them. You want to catch them mid-rotation while they're sprinting and they're not ready to shoot at you and they haven't got their shields up, because that's when the ping can play in your favour. So by all means be spotted, but you've got to move in fast once that happens. You have to know that you've been spotted, and quite often you do, because it's very quiet on Jaeger without Zephyrs going off and lull pods flying in. So you do hear the shout when you've been spotted. It's quite audible, but then you've got to know that you really have to move at that point. You see Nidra get a bit of a dirty kill on Best Assassin there, snipes him out. He's going with a duel with another heavy on the roof. Ooh, got conked out there though. I like this approach that they've got here. Dismos is up, but he does go down. See, now that's the same sort of thing. They knew they were around behind that rock outcrop. It's not something that any team has really pushed around before, but it gave GAB enough time to move up there and counter them. It would have worked otherwise. It would have got them into their own building perfectly unharmed. True Sight puts down Chris, so they've at least gone 1 for 1 on that, but that whole side now is going to be covered and they're going to be expecting a push. As we do have Best Assassin sitting up on top of the rock, so he's got the high ground. They're not going to be able to go through there, but they're still going to try. And they pay for it with a life.
Taking down George there.
Nidra on a 3 kill streak now, so he's doing okay, but he's sitting quite far back and not able to give his team the vision they need with the motion spotter. Best getting another kill over on these rocks. He's really locked that down just by himself, just based on the fact that the SOCA team are trickling in one by one. Got another man to fight here. Doesn't see him. Might go down. Does get away. So they've got a clearing on that side now, but still covered from the roof slightly. They're still not going for a push, and probably too late for a push now.
Deseric dropping down on 4. 3 of the GAB guys are just not able to get even 1 kill off, unfortunately.
And it will be interesting next round. GAB have sort of shown that they're going to be aggressive. They want to score points here tonight and just go out with a bit of a bang. So when they get the western spawn and also get the spawn point capture, if they do secure the point early in the next round, they're really going to pin in SOCA from both sides and just pour on the pain. This is the best situation for SOCA at the moment, and they're kind of getting pushed around. So it's only going to get worse from here if they don't come up with something from the other spawn to contest the point and stop GAB getting that capture.
Yeah, at this point here, I almost want to see just 5 maxes and an engineer, just something completely, out of the, out of the ballpark, something you're not going to expect, and just, watch them either get completely wiped out and lose a whole heap of points, or wipe out all the GAB and have them have to counter it. Just something different, basically.
Yeah, by all means, pull 2 maxes, 2 engineers, and a medic to keep the engineers up. There's a whole lot of stuff that you can do, and your maxes offer you a lot of suppression. You can go with 1 pounder max, 1 mercy max. You can really do whatever. So just do something, just to give it a little bit of flair. Go out with some style.
Yeah, I suggested to them right at the beginning of the season doing like a 6-man medic ball. We've done it before during operations, a whole squad of them all with the area of effect medic thing on, and you just all run around together, just healing each other as you go. Just
good old medic ball.
Something unusual and something you wouldn't expect.
We're getting towards the point where GAB's going to start talking about EPing and who scored the most points on their team. So they're going to be fighting with each other for the kills now, and I'm expecting some team kills to start coming out from GAB if someone gets in the way. They're pretty merciless like that. I'm pretty sure that I have something like a 6% team kill rate over my last 1,000 kills, and 5% of that 6% are probably GAB guys. So. The old dodgeball thing. Don't shoot at him, shoot through him.
Yeah, just struggling to group up together and work well. Like there was 3 of them here in the room here, and it looked like they were going to go for a combined sort of fire on a single target, and it just didn't work out for them. They ended up having 2 guys going up against 3 basically, and it just losing those 2 guys pretty much instantaneously.
Yeah, I guess it's probably a bit of a difference of opinions on how to push in or what to do at this stage. You can see a couple of SOCA guys up on the hill just trying to pick up cheap kills. Seems to be a constant flow of probably maximum 3 guys trying to push in on the point, and those 2 guys that are up the top just trying to get kills isn't helping them because, well, they just GAB just ducks behind the wall, gets their health back, and the 3 guys that they've left in the building where the other guys are pushing have been able to handle the push very, very comfortably.
Boost up there going down to Solace.
Bit of smoke. We've got 1 man. Dismos has pushed into his building. Gets 1 kill there. And he's going to go down. No. He manages to pick up a double kill. Right before
there we
round
have it. End of the round there. Now, not coming out of it with as bad a sort of showing as like the 70-point difference sort of thing, but that's definitely not overwhelming. It'd be a struggle to come back from, definitely, but it's not the worst sort of score difference I think we've seen from memory. I think the fifth column game, the first game, was a bit worse than that from memory.
Yeah, it was. The only thing with that game was that what we're going to see in this round happened in the first round for those guys. So they obviously had the spawn room captured as well as the Western Sunderer at the start. So they were able to go out to a huge first round lead, and they didn't quite reproduce it in the second round. So GAB are probably going to be shooting for that 420 point mark, which is probably a little bit out of reach at this stage. And not the best scores on some of their guys, but a few of them coming up pretty big.
Yeah, actually, yeah, looking at the scores, Nidro there definitely coming out with a positive net score there of 4, which is quite good. 9 kills to 7 deaths there. Uh, Dogman having a little bit of trouble there, only 3 kills to 13 deaths. George having not doing too bad, 14 kills to 18 deaths. Deseric with 3 to 10, not doing too well in the infiltrator role there. True Sight, 10 kills to 12 deaths, and Dismos 11 kills to 16. Obviously, the GAB guys, Calipix there not having a very good. He must have. I don't know what's happened there. He's got a -7 with 7 kills. He must have had a team kill or something along those lines to get that minus as high as it is for his KD being so close. Chris there doing quite well with a net score of 24 there, 24 kills to 14 deaths. Best Assassin with 21 on the net score, 20 kills to 8 deaths. Kilos with a 12, 13 kills to 7 deaths. Eaten Alive having a bit of trouble with his first go round. -8 there, only 3 kills to 7 deaths. And Solace there with a +6, 9 kills to 7 deaths. So,
yeah, we had just had a look back through the kill feed. Calipix actually fragged out Solus, so he got a bit upset that he was pinching all of his kills running around as the SMG infiltrator there, and actually popped him with a grenade. So it's a bit unfortunate. That's the lowest score that he's had, but Chris going positive. That's a first. Generally a pretty useless player in general. I mean, he's just shocking. So that's a good thing for the GAB. Best Assassin doing well, Keelos doing well, Eaten Alive struggling, but I mean there weren't many kills there to be had with those guys running around being as aggressive as they were. When you have Chris out front and he actually does kill a lot of people, then there's not much that the enemy team's going to be able to do. Chris scoring a +24 is just a huge score for the way that he plays. But then on the other side, George, he was a bit unlucky to have a low score as he did because he had that max right at the start. Obviously lost 4 points for that net. Dogman, rough first intro. Nidra, he did well, getting like a 6 kill streak, I think, there towards the end, which he'll carry through to this round. But had a tough opener, obviously, if he only managed to get 9 kills and closed it out with 6 more. And yeah, just sort of the same thing that we see from the other guys there. Not too bad, but they won't be happy with that, I'm sure.
it's very interesting. The commentary has gone very much from it not being a bit like a you versus me, like SOCA versus GAB thing, to just us ragging on our own outfits, basically.
Yeah, it's easy.
That's the
It's like
easier
the
way
whole
to do
family
it.
thing.
Yeah.
You can call your mom a cow, but as soon as someone else does, it's like, you what, mate?
I slap you in the face.
That's it. We want to see GAB really put the heat on this game, cap early, get in the rocks, start throwing out some lead, put SOCA under some pressure, and to see SOCA answer that, we want 6 maxes.
Yep. Yeah, we want to see some out of the box thinking, something you're not going to expect, some organisation, some like not the streaming in like we've seen. We want to see them moving in as a group, basically, but moving in as a group,
423, the
specific.
dream for GAB. I think it's 423 that they need to score to beat Jugger's record.
It's a big score to beat, but yeah, if they really put the pressure onto SOCA this time round and SOCA really don't pull anything unusual out of the box, it's definitely possible. I do hear a max from SOCA here, but
George
just
in the max
one.
again. 2 infiltrators though. We've got Nidra and Dogman in the infiltrator. I'm trying to pick off someone coming across. They get a hit on one heavy, but they don't kill him. Chris is going really aggressive right up front. He's going to get a face full of max and he runs away. Ooh, takes one hit. Chris gets a kill. Should not have got a kill there.
Oh, and then
He
gets
gets
taken down by
maxed.
George.
He's just Chris and George have just got a little bit of a love affair going on at the moment. Just keep killing each other. I'm sure Chris will come back and take down the max.
I think it's GAB that's going for the point here. I'm not seeing a SOCA guy on it. It seems to have neutralised again without anyone actually capping it.
Yeah, completely neutral at this point. No one in there. Neither team really gain to go in and have a look. Looks like SOCA's gonna go... Nope, change their mind.
Interesting tactic here from SOCA. Having those two infiltrators means that they've got two motion spotters that they can possibly have up. So that gives them a lot more awareness of where the Jugger guys are on the field. Whether or not that'll make a difference or not is another question.
George has got up to his second kill this time around, so he's done better than last time, but he takes a rocket there. He's only got one more left in him. He takes another rocket, he will go down. And he is really deep behind enemy lines. Miss Kilos. For shame. Misses a point, but another one! Oh, who was that? Eden. Mate. Atones for his sins.
George going down there.
Oh no, Solus managed to kill George with the Eridani, so note for live, SMG infiltrators kill maxes.
Just.
Mere comedy of errors there. Watch the GAB guys, I'll probably land those rockets at 300 meters on a penny, put them around a corner, can't hit it.
Clearly the GAB.exe file doesn't work with close range very well.
Yeah, there was a glitch in the matrix there, that's what we'll call it.
Ooh, George going down there very aggressively from Best Assassin.
I think we really need to see SOCA push onto this point if they don't want to get absolutely pummeled in 3 minutes and 20 seconds when that thing captures, because I know that these GAB guys are going to be clamoring for who's going to be spawning in over that side and jumping in. We've got Deseric over on the side and an infiltrator basically sitting where the spawn room is, and he's going to be first blood basically. And that's sort of the way that SOCA's been pushing into the point, is through that alley. They're going to lose that completely.
This one's taking down Kilios there, but then being taken out as right back again by Kilios, so that was obviously a share there.
We got Solus being super sneaky around the side of the building. The side of SOCA's building. Throws up a EMP, doesn't get anyone. Chris getting bullied. Answers back. Oh. Unable to get the kill there. Chris gets taken down by Dismos.
Dismos there, yep. All I got on the stream was a couple of pistol shots and then all of a sudden Chris falling from behind a rock.
Pretty standard. It's just what Chris does.
Ooh, very interesting there. Solus and Dismos going up against each other, and Solus actually coming out with a kill trade there, whereas the Heavy should have had the advantage.
Yeah, definitely. Very strong gun though, the Eridani in close range. If you point it in the general direction of an enemy's head, it's going to do a fair bit of damage. But you're right, the Heavy should always have the advantage in that situation. 1800 effective health versus 900. Chris and Keelos picking up a few more kills there. We've got a minute until the pain train rolls into the station.
SOCA really doing the same thing as last round here, not
Got another max.
really pulling anything out.
Dogman
we do have
pulling out the
Dogman
max.
in a max here. This could be interesting.
Took some fall damage there. Oh, rocket misses. So the first
Does have
rocket is
a
missed.
little bit of support there, which is good. That's what you want to see.
Unfortunately, he needs to be behind that. See, that was well played. The Heavy sort of distracted the enemy Heavy, made him miss the rocket. So Dogman's still at relatively full health. He's still going to take 2 rockets to go down, but Chris puts one into him and goes down. Oh, eaten alive. Eaten alive
Quite a
actually got
pistol
Chris
him.
with the detonator.
Oh, really? Wow.
And Solus With the Aerodani again manages to take down Dogman and then walks outside and picks off Dismos with a beamer.
Devastating
God.
there, unfortunately.
We're going to see some big negatives from Poor Eaten Alive after this game. If you're going to team kill someone, it might as well be Chris.
I'll remember that next time I'm playing Vanu.
It's pretty easy to spot too. I'm not saying I wouldn't high-five you if you team killed him, but...
If there were an emote in game for it, you'd probably be using it.
Okay, so he must have had a point flip in there somewhere.
Yeah, it was interesting. They did actually flip the point there for a second. I don't know who it was that got at the point, but someone did.
We've still got one infiltrator, Nidral. He's got a pretty aggressive motion spotter up here now, but he's standing on top of it, so they're going to know where he is. 59 seconds. It was heavy on the point that went down there to Best Assassin. It was Dogman. They need to resecure it. GAB is another heavy pushes in, so they're starting to get a bit of control over it.
Yeah, George is going for the flip there. That will slow down the point cap a bit. They really need to get organised now and get a defence up and running to actually hold onto this point. You know GAB are coming, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. They haven't been able to put up as many points as they want. SOCA's probably maintained the gap, really, if anything.
Ooh, Best Assassin there. Nice wipeout on Dismos. There we have it. At least 3 or 4 of them on the point.
Might be possibly the time that SOCA pulls out some shotguns. We've seen them used to pretty good effect, and these buildings are pretty tight. You do need some sort of ranged class to cover them while they get in the building, but once they get in there, they should be pretty powerful. Back out to a minute to capture, though. So still flirting around that 1 minute mark is SOCA.
Ooh, Solace there, coming up behind George and taking him out. Dismos going for the push there, for getting conked and then getting taken out by Kelios. Very quiet from the SOCA front all of a sudden. They're all sort of grouped up over here.
Yeah, they do manage to pick off Chris there, who pushed up really aggressively, probably too aggressively. Got spotted by the motion spotter. Still sort of just in a holding pattern for both teams. Oh, Best Assassin goes down. He got EMP'd and then shot in the back.
Oh, Dogman getting flanked by Chris there after he took out George just earlier on.
There goes the cap, so we're going to start seeing some spawns straight away. What have we got here? Best Assassin spawned in immediately. He was waiting for that to capture, and he's straight up the rocks.
This is the situation you really don't want to see yourself in Pale Canyon there. Having the enemy with the base, with the spawn to the west and to the east, and now you're coming in from the south, and they can just be everywhere at once, basically. You've got 3 guys up on these rocks here now, firing down on you.
Got a flank coming in for SOCA, though. Gets one, oh, doesn't manage to get 2. Puts a little bit of pain and chases one more off and hurts the other guy, but only managed to get 1 kill there onto Eaton. Best Assassin cleaned him up. Chris catching a sniper rifle bullet with his head. Deseret cleaning up a few kills with the sniper rifle there. So they're sort of hanging back. I think they recognise the threat that they're under from both sides here. Chris is chasing kills, but he's going to get shot on the side there. Chris should pick off a kill here.
Ooh.
Does that?
Briggs taking down
Lots
Trueside
going
and
across.
George in that building there.
The Calipix has gone to the heavy now, and he just got a triple kill there, I think. No, sorry, he only got 2. He managed to get one with the Orion and then knifed one. So rip Dismos and George. Chris being stupid aggressive again. Doesn't punish him though. No, just to stay up. George gets a double kill there on Best Assassin and Chris. So we're not probably going to see the 400 points that we thought, but still going to be a pretty commanding score here. They'll be aiming for about 350 if they keep up the pace that they're at the moment.
Yeah, granted, SOCA are still keeping up, like they're 120 odd points behind, sort of thing, but they're holding their own sort of better and not letting GAB get that humongous lead against them. And obviously, not anything that they're going to come back from, though.
No, you wouldn't expect to come back at this stage. It'd be pretty miraculous if they pulled that off, but stranger things have happened. Do we get a double kill there by Dogman? Did really well. But yeah, they're maintaining their distance. They're not embarrassing themselves by any means in this game. I feel like they've countered this rock push a lot better than what we saw FCLM do against Juggers. Ooh, good frag kill there from Callow. They're sort of taking the long way around, not rushing in, not just giving up free kills. They're still sort of getting 1-for-1s. Not doing too bad at all. You see George face checks there. Into an angry Eaten Alive, who I think has finally clawed himself out of the negatives. He has.
Just noticed 30 minutes into the match that they've actually changed their tag. It's not ASOC anymore, it's Diggo, which is the leader of the SOCA group. Yeah, you are right. Like, GAB definitely aren't dominating them like Jugger were doing the 5th column in that first round there. They, they haven't really pushed into the buildings, but they've been able to sort of push back at least, and they've been able to at least sort of hold a little bit more control over these rocks than what GAB would probably like, basically.
Yeah, and probably a lot of that comes down to just watching that sort of game and being exposed to it. We've had every team now has played 4 games. This is the 5th for every team, so they know what they're going to be up against and they know how to minimise their losses, especially SOCA, who's been unfortunate to not pick up a win in this regular season. They've seen the worst that the enemies can throw at them, and they know how to counter that just by being on the receiving end of a beat stick a couple of times. So they're showing that they're learning from their mistakes and not willing to make the same mistakes more than once, and that's a pretty big thing.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone in the Briggs in the communal team speak, drink.
Absolutely. Looks like we've got Calipix has gone up to a 10 kill streak, so he's got to get to 13. He's got a pretty average score, total score. He's only scored 30 odd points this game, but can he get up to best? And Black Bullet's 13. So only got about a minute to do it.
Oh, not even
less,
that.
actually.
No, 10 seconds left. Yeah, he's not going to make it. I think Desric getting the last kill there on Chris from the looks of things. And there we have it, guys. End of that round. Not really anything humongously out of the box from SOCA there, unfortunately. Was really looking forward to seeing something different, but it just looked like they went for we'll try and keep as much of a score on the board as we can, and they've done a reasonably good job at that as well. So,
Yeah.
having a look at the final scores there, not really anyone out of SOCA coming out with a positive net score, and you'd sort of want to expect that from the sort of the score that GAB's got as a counter to them, but neither are they doing reasonably well with a -8, and TrueSight there with a -5. Dogman's really not having much luck with these first round there, ending up with a -42 with only 8 kills to 27 deaths there. Probably not helping SOCA score that much. Eaten Alive there, the only one out of GAB coming out with the minus there with the 18 there, only 8 kills to 15 deaths. And Chris obviously doing very well there, 27, although being beaten out by Kilios with 38 on the net score and Best Assassin with 34 as well. So obviously had quite a lot more deaths than those two, with 32 deaths to 42 kills, whereas they both had 12 and 15 from Kilios and Best Assassin respectively. Solus putting up a nice neat score there of 18. Well, 16 that score, 18 kills.
Yeah, pretty standard stuff from those guys. I know Calipix will be pretty disappointed with the low score. He went a bit of a rampage towards the end there and picked up 20 of his points just in that 10 kill streak. So he's normally putting up some pretty big scores, but like I said, there wasn't too much of the scraps to be cleaned up. There wasn't much flanking to be done really in this game. And the whole first half he was running around as a light assault without a job really, but yeah, pretty much scores that you would expect. A bit disappointing for Dogman putting up a -42 and Eaten Alive putting up a -18, but that's what you get when you're sort of thrown in the deep end as a debutant. It's tough. It's not easy. These guys make it look easy by doing it week after week, but it can be pretty tough.
Oh yeah, definitely. Rightio, guys. Well, so that is the end of that round basically. A nice sort of commendable fight there from the SOCA guys there, but GAB coming out with the inevitable victory. And we'll be back in a few minutes with the Jugger versus RSNC game. Catch you then.